Hey guys, I wanted to do a safety video here on which I think every thread, every forum should have safety videos in there. I know Bob White, Finless Bob, has a safety video in his area, but a lot of guys might not see that. So I do think the safety video should be stickied into every helicopter thread there is. I'm no expert on this, but I've been doing it a long time. I do know how to be safe with these helicopters. Well, there's a lot of new pilots out there that just don't. They don't understand how dangerous these helicopters are. I wanted to go over a few things first. We always want our radio on first. Set our battery on. Make sure it's strapped down real good so it doesn't come off. Always make sure you got good connections. Plug it in. Let the helicopter initialize. It's always best not to move it while your gyro is initializing. And from here you want to hit your throttle hold. Make sure throttle hold's enabled in your radio. And hit the throttle hold. Leave your throttle hold on the whole time. And then you can do a pre-flight inspection. Pre-flight inspection is basically going over your whole head, your linkages, your balls. Make sure nothing's loose, because these linkages do wear out. If you throw one of these linkages, odds are you're not going to recover your helicopter, which could be dangerous. Blades can fly off if you didn't put your spindle together right. I've had it happen to me when I was new. I wish somebody would have told me about that. But we always learn as much as we possibly can about being safe. All of our manuals have a safety in the back of them. You guys should read those for sure. They have a lot of good safety advice in there as well. I notice a lot of guys are upgrading their components. You start upgrading these components, you're making these things very powerful. Higher amp speed controls, higher kV motors. Make sure that you have the equipment to handle it. Guys, we want more power. Guys want higher head speeds, but make sure that your equipment is prepared for these head speeds. I personally run right around 31 to 3200 and idle up on mine, but my components can handle it. I have the right stuff here. If you are going to upgrade, make sure you upgrade to higher C-rated batteries as well. Higher C discharge batteries can handle the amp draw better. They won't puff on you. The lower C batteries, they can puff on you. You start drawing a lot of amps through here, and a lot of guys don't know these batteries, LiPo batteries, are the most dangerous batteries in the world. They can puff. They don't explode, but they do catch on fire. There's no doubt. If you damage one of these, get a hole in a crash, damage a cell, don't trust it. Just there's recycling centers I know that will take these and dispose of them. There's some things you can look up online of how to dispose them by putting them in salt water for a couple weeks in a bucket. That's another way to dispose of them. But one of these batteries can burn your house down. I've come home from flying and I found a puffed battery in the back of my truck. It was pretty scary actually. So I threw it on the front lawn just so I didn't bring it in the garage or the house with me. So if it did go, it was going to go out on the yard. But so anyways, just something else to remember about being safe once we start upgrading this stuff. Another thing I wanted to go over is where you guys make sure you fly in a proper field of fly with no people around, no kids. If you do get in situations, I know a lot of us out here have been doing, a lot of us have had scary situations with these helicopters, and a lot of new guys don't understand, or they haven't seen it, that something really bad can happen with these helicopters. Make sure that like I said, when your equipment's rated, higher head speeds. A lot of guys are switching to carbon blades. Glass fiber I know is not rated as high as head speeds as carbon fiber, even though their glass fiber is a lot cheaper. I don't know the wood blades or the rating on the wood blades. I'm sure somebody can tell me that though. Another thing I want to talk about, when you always have your stick down throttle hold on as you're going out to your flight line to go fly. Another thing I wanted to go over with is, let me turn this around here. When you go out to fly, a lot of guys fly tail in because it is the easiest way to fly. But what you don't want to do is have this tail facing directly at you. What I do is I actually have it away from me, not facing right at my body, because you don't realize it, and you could throw one of these blade grips off. You throw a blade grip off, or the blade, and the tail's facing right at you, it can hit you. There's no doubt it can hurt you seriously. I upgraded to Sonic's tail, which is metal grip, blade grips. I did forget to Loctite one of those, just oversight, but I did throw a blade. But I was fortunate that I had the tail away from me. You're still tail in, but it's just slightly away from you, so it's not facing right at your body. When I threw that blade, to this day I have no idea where that blade went. I couldn't find it. So that could have hurt me bad. But another thing is, if you're going to check your tracking and stuff, and make sure the helicopter's far away from you, because it is hard to track. It is hard to check your tracking if you're not looking directly at the blades. But I don't suggest you have the helicopter close to you when you do this. Kind of have it far away from you. And if you're not checking tracking or anything else, make sure the helicopter is above your head. If you know you're good to go, get the helicopter off the ground as soon as you can and get it above your head. That's always the best way to be safe. So, I really don't know what else to say here, but I do know the sport is getting popular. The hobby is getting popular. There's AMA out there, and I don't know if a lot of guys don't know. It's called American Modelers Insurance. They cover about $2.5 million in damage, liability. If you hurt somebody, if you damage somebody's property, it's really good to have. I belong to it as well. It's about $55. Don't quote me. I think it's around $55 a year to belong to that. But it's definitely an added security that I think everybody should have, no doubt. But again, like I said, I don't see enough safety videos, and I have seen some pictures online. A guy got hit with a 400 in the face. It was very ugly. You guys will find some. I think Bob White, Finless Bob, he showed the pictures of that guy getting hit in the face. It was very ugly. I know last year in Texas there was a guy killed by a helicopter, like the 700 size, like you see behind me here. You get up to the bigger ones, stuff like that. The guy in Texas, I believe he was actually hit. He was an instructor and was actually hit by his student in the neck. I believe it was in the neck area by the blades, and he was killed. So, again, if you are starting off in this hobby, make sure you go over all the safety stuff. Like I said, hopefully Hella Freak should sticky these safety videos or safety stuff into every forum on every helicopter. That's just my opinion. So be safe, guys. Thank you.